Prey, the 5th entry in the Predator franchise so far, or the 7th if you want to include the AVP films. Now before I review this film, I want to quickly go into my experiences with all the Predator films so far because, yes, I'm very fluent in the language of our favourite dreadlocked alien. So when it comes to the original Predator, oh my goodness, it's one of my favourites. John McTiernan directed the shit out of it. It's a perfect blend of action and sci-fi. It's very corny but very fun and very scary. Arnold Schwarzenegger was surprisingly brilliant in it, and it also has one of the best antagonists I've ever seen in any film, ever. I think Predator is a masterpiece, and it's definitely in my top 20, if not my top 10. Predator 2 is a big step down from the first one. It's got a bigger budget than the original, yet it looks so much cheaper. It's full of goofs, like the Predator can somehow still see in heat vision even when not wearing the mask. But it's still got its merits. It expands the Predator mythology in a very satisfying way, and the third act, I think, is brilliant filmmaking. I think it's possible. Now quickly talking about the AVP films, I don't think they're anywhere near as offensive as everyone else makes them out to be because I don't really see them as canon. I don't even think they were made to be canon. So I just turn my brain off and have a complete laugh with the first one. I think the action's very well done, it looks really cool, and it's fun watching these iconic monsters beat the shit out of each other. But Alien vs Predator 2 didn't happen. Now moving on to Predators, I get why loads of people hate this film. It's very derivative of the original Predator, definitely to a fault, but I make no apologies in saying that I absolutely adore this film, and I full-blown consider it to be one of the most entertaining films I've ever seen. I'm not kidding, I watch it about twice a year. The strange eclectic cast of characters really do bounce off each other well. I like the dialogue, the action scenes are very fun, I like the way it expands the Predator mythology. Predators is fucking awesome, man. But now moving on to the Predator. I've watched it many times, I do think there's a lot of fun to be had with it. It's very funny and the loonies are great characters. But the story was a complete mess, it was edited poorly, the giant Predator just stinks, and that whole Iron Man suit ending thing is dreadful. God damn, this film is trash. I just turn my brain off and have fun with it. No way is this canon in my eyes. So now we've got Prey. Set 300 years in the past, Prey tells the story of a young female warrior who hopes to protect her tribe from one of the first predators to arrive on Earth. And even though that unique plot did get me excited, I haven't really seen anything like this before in a Predator film. I got nervous. The main character being a young female warrior just had woke culture written all over it, and I didn't want Predator to share the same fate as Terminator and Star Wars. Plus it doesn't look like a Predator film, it looks kind of kid-friendly, like she looks like every generic princess we've seen in every Disney film, you know? And with it being released on VOD instead of the cinema, I got nervous. So how is it? It's solid. It's fun. I didn't see that coming. Damn, this shut me up. I thought they were trying to counteract the lunacy of the Predator with a load of woke trash. But no, the fact that we've got a female protagonist doesn't have any deeper meaning behind it. There were no forced agendas or messages here. She wasn't overly sexualized or anything like that. If she was replaced by a male protagonist, that wouldn't have helped the film in any way, shape or form. It worked. I liked it. I obviously really appreciated this new style that we got with the whole being set in the past aspect, and Amber Midthunder was wonderful. Freaking awesome as Naru. I really liked this character. I liked watching her go on this journey, I liked her arc, and I liked her tribe. I wish we got a lot more of her tribe, granted. Some of them did feel like plot devices, and I didn't get that connection with her tribe established truly. However, I thought it all worked. It looked really good, I liked watching her interactions with them, and even though her dog didn't do all that much, I did enjoy watching her interact with him on this journey. And the atmosphere, the aesthetics are wonderful. This is a really well directed film. The cinematography is wonderful. It does look like it's set 300 years ago, and the music is really well composed and fits the scene. There are also these really long, slow scenes with little to no dialogue, and Amber Midthunder had to really work just like Arnie did at the end of the first Predator to make us feel engaged with her. with just facial expressions alone. It's awesome. Now when it comes to the Predator himself, I was disappointed in him, and I'll explain why later, but make no mistake, he's still the star of the show. He looks awesome, he's caked head to toe in a load of alien bones, and his mask looks badass. I do find it a bit strange how Danny Glover called the Predator Pussyface in Predator 2, and now all this time later this mask kind of looks like a bony vagina. At least it does to me. I don't know if you guys see it, but hey. Yeah, okay, it's a bit odd, but I still think his look was awesome. And because this is one of the first Predators to arrive on Earth, if not the first Predator, it's kind of like an origin story. You're actually seeing the Predator learn how the animals work on this planet. You see him upping his game from small animals to the bigger ones, and I think it's cool. Sure, some of the fight scenes with the bigger animals are held back by some iffy CGI moments, but overall it does work. This is a much more primitive Predator, and I dug it. It didn't recycle loads of the weapons from the previous films because this is set in the past. A load of the new weapons are actually older weapons, they're just new to us as the audience. He doesn't have the more advanced gear anymore, and he also doesn't use those voice recording lines anymore. This is in the past, he's still yet to get that equipment. I think that's great. There are some great scenes where the Predator is chasing people down while still being cloaked yet covered in blood. It's really scary. And some of the action scenes are shot extremely well, not just with the Predator, but even without him. There's this one fight scene which is shot entirely in one take, and it looks awesome. Sadly, the Predator wasn't involved in that one, but still it all looked good. But this is where we creep into the flaws, and sadly there's a lot more of them than I was expecting. Again, there are plenty of characters who didn't get well developed, they're just there to rack up a body count, and they didn't have much chemistry between them. And sadly, one of my biggest fears came true. As I said, going into this film, it looked very family friendly, and it kind of was. This didn't feel like the old school Predator films. The violence is kind of kid friendly. I don't think there's a single drop of blood in it that's practical. It's all CGI, and a lot of the violence happens to go on off screen. Now guys, I'm not much of a gorehound, but the only way I can truly fear the Predator is if I can see what he does to the human body, right? This is Predator. It's not a kid's film. They need to stop doing this. They've been doing it for a long time. And there are some major flaws with the Predator himself. As I said, I thought he looked awesome, but as the film went on, I thought he looked more and more rubbery. And in classic Predator fashion, we do get that epic face reveal when he takes off the mask. No, there's no nice way to put it, guys. I thought his face looked awful. It was this really ugly, overblown CGI discombobulated mess. I thought it looked terrible. But the biggest problem of them all was the third act. Guys, even the worst Predator films have good third acts, but Prey's third act had nothing to it. We've seen it all before. It didn't do anything new. It didn't do anything thought-provoking. It wasn't that exciting. It was just a means to an end. A load of the action scenes relied too heavily on coincidence and good luck, and I was just rolling my eyes at the screen thinking, oh god, Naru's gonna be fine. The screenwriters are just gonna constantly put in serendipity to save her. I can't stand it when films do that. But even worse, no spoilers, the Predator is just fucking stupid here. I don't think I've ever seen a Predator film portray a Predator itself as being stupid. Huge shame. The third act disappointed the fuck out of me. But still, as flawed as it is, I do think Prey is a pretty satisfying entry in the franchise. And if you compare it to the last film, it's a goddamn masterpiece. I really do appreciate how in just 4 years we already got another installment in the Predator franchise. And it didn't feel like a cash grab, it was put there quickly to wash the taste of the Predator out of my mouth. And the fact I didn't have to wait all that long to be this satisfied is something I can get used to. I do think we're going to get a Prey 2 in the upcoming years, and I do look forward to that. However, I am kind of pissed off we still don't have that sequel to Predators, nor a true sequel with Arnold Schwarzenegger in it. Come on guys, it's been 35 years. But speaking of 35 years, I'm impressed that after 35 years of Predator, we're still getting decent installments, and even though this one is flawed as fuck, Prey did satisfy me. I'm going to give Prey a 6.5 out of 10. A 6.5 is still a good score, guys. But remember, I might end up changing my mind one day. I do remember the first time I saw Predators, I liked it, but a few more watches later, I ended up falling in love with it. Who knows, that might happen with this film. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay jiggy. The Badger appreciates ya.